The snow was coming down so hard, Natasha could barely see the road. White on white on white. The windshield wipers worked frantically, but it didn't matter. The world had become a wall of snow. "Mom?" Owen's voice from the passenger seat was small, scared. "Maybe we should turn back." "We're almost there, sweetie." Natasha tried to sound confident, tried to ignore the fact that she hadn't seen another car in 20 minutes, that her phone had no signal, that the GPS had stopped working 3 miles back, just a little further. This had seemed like such a good idea yesterday, when Owen had asked, his 7-year-old voice so careful, so afraid of disappointing her, "Mom, can we skip the big Christmas party this year? Can it just be us?" And Natasha had realized she'd been dragging him to corporate events for 2 years, since the divorce, filling their lives with noise and people and obligations because silence meant thinking about failure. About Derek, her ex-husband, who'd chosen his secretary over his family, about custody battles and lawyers, and a 7-year-old boy who'd stopped smiling. So she'd said yes, rented a cabin in the mountains, just her and Owen. Quiet Christmas, healing Christmas. Except now they were driving through a blizzard that the weather report had said wouldn't hit until midnight. It was barely 6 p.m., and visibility was almost zero. The deer came out of nowhere. One second the road was empty, the next a massive buck was standing directly in front of her car. Natasha screamed, swerved. The luxury SUV's wheels lost traction. Everything went sideways, spinning, sliding, and then impact. Not hard, but definitive. The sickening crunch of metal and the sudden stop as the car slid into a shallow ditch. For a moment, there was only the sound of Owen crying and Natasha's heart pounding. Owen, are you okay? Are you hurt?" I'm okay." His voice was shaking. "Mom, what happened?" "We slid off the road. It's okay. We're okay." She tried to restart the car. The engine turned over, but when she hit the gas, the wheels just spun uselessly. Stuck. Natasha looked at her phone. No signal. She looked at the road. Empty. Dark. The snow was getting heavier. "Stay here," she told Owen. "I'm going to try to push us out." She got out into the blizzard. The cold hit her like a physical force. She wasn't dressed for this. Just a coat meant for walking from heated car to heated building, not for standing in a snowstorm trying to push a 3-ton vehicle out of a ditch. She pushed anyway. Nothing. The wheels spun, kicking up snow, but the car didn't budge. 20 minutes passed. No cars, no help. Natasha got back in the SUV, shivering, and found Owen wrapped in his coat, crying quietly. "I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. Someone will come. Someone has to." And then, through the snow, she saw them. Headlights. Natasha scrambled out of the car and ran into the middle of the road, waving her arms frantically. "Help! Please stop! Help!" The truck slowed, stopped, and a man got out. He was tall, wearing a yellow flannel and jeans, moving with a slight limp. His face was weathered but kind, and when he spoke, his voice was calm, steady, the voice of someone who'd seen worse things than a stranded car in a snowstorm. "Ma'am, are you hurt?" Natasha felt tears on her face. "We're stuck. My son's in the car. I don't have phone signal. The storm—" "Okay, deep breath. You're safe now. Let me look." He checked the car, checked Owen, who'd stopped crying at the sight of this stranger who moved like he knew exactly what to do. "Hey, buddy, you doing okay?" Owen nodded, clutching his stuffed bear. He came back to Natasha. "Your car's stuck pretty good. I can't tow it in these conditions, too dangerous. But my place is 2 miles up this road. You can stay the night. Warm, safe. In the morning, I'll come back with proper equipment and pull you out."
Natasha hesitated. Every instinct screamed not to get in a car with a stranger, but every survival instinct screamed louder, "Stay here and freeze." "I'm Caleb Reed," the man said, as if reading her thoughts. "Marine Corps veteran. I have a daughter, 9 years old, waiting at home. I promise you, you're safe with me. But you need to decide fast. This storm's only getting worse." Owen's small voice from the car. "Mom, I'm really cold." Natasha looked at Caleb, at his honest eyes, at the yellow flannel that was worn but clean, at the slight limp that spoke of service and sacrifice. "Okay," she said. "Thank you. We'll come with you." As they drove through the blizzard toward his cabin, Natasha had no idea that this stranger, this veteran with a limp and a modest truck and a daughter waiting at home, was about to change everything she thought she knew about Christmas, about family, and about what it meant to be saved. Subscribe to Becca's Stories. Our mission is to inspire your life and brighten your day through powerful narratives of transformation and human resilience. Where are you watching from? Drop your country in the comments.
The truck was warm, old but well-maintained. Owen sat between Natasha and Caleb, slowly stopping his shivering. "Thank you," Natasha said, "for stopping. Most people wouldn't have." "Most people aren't paying attention," Caleb replied. He kept his eyes on the road, driving with practiced care through the blizzard. "But you were pretty hard to miss, standing in the middle of the road waving like that." Despite everything, Natasha almost smiled. "Desperation makes you bold." "Makes you honest," Caleb corrected. "Nothing wrong with asking for help when you need it." "I'm Natasha," she said. "Tasha, and this is Owen." "Nice to meet you both. Sorry it's under these circumstances." He glanced at Owen. "You like hot chocolate, buddy?" Owen nodded shyly. "Good. My daughter makes the best hot chocolate. She puts extra marshmallows in, says regular hot chocolate is just sad brown milk." Owen giggled. First sound of joy Natasha had heard from him all day. "Your daughter," Natasha ventured. "How old did you say?" 9. Her name's Iris. She's—" Caleb paused, choosing words carefully. "She's in a wheelchair, paralyzed from the waist down. Car accident 3 years ago. But she's the bravest person I've ever met, braver than anyone I served with, and I served with some pretty incredible people." "I'm sorry," Natasha said. That must be so hard." "It was. It is. But Iris, she doesn't let it define her. She just figures out how to do things differently. She's my hero." Owen was listening intently. "Does she go to school?" "She does. Regular school. She's in 4th grade. Loves science. Wants to be an astronaut." Caleb's voice was full of pride. "I keep telling her there's nothing she can't do if she works hard enough. Wheelchair doesn't change that." "That's—" Natasha's throat tightened. "That's beautiful." They drove in a comfortable silence for a few minutes. Then Caleb said, "We were in town for Iris's physical therapy appointment, twice a week. It's expensive, but it helps. Keeps her muscles from atrophying. Gives her the best chance at whatever mobility might be possible in the future." Natasha heard what he didn't say, that he was paying for therapy he probably couldn't afford because he'd do anything for his daughter. "What about her mother?" The question was out before Natasha could stop it. "I'm sorry, that's too personal." "It's okay," Caleb said. "Her mother, my ex-wife, Michelle, she left 6 months after the accident. Couldn't handle it. The wheelchair, the therapy, the reality that our daughter would never walk again. So she left. Remarried a wealthy guy, lives in California now. We haven't heard from her in 2.5 years. That's—" Natasha felt fury rising in her chest. "That's unforgivable, leaving your child." "People handle trauma differently," Caleb said quietly. "Michelle couldn't, so I do. Iris and I, we're a team. We figure it out together." Natasha looked at this man, this stranger who'd stopped in a blizzard to save her and her son, and felt something shift in her chest. Recognition, respect, something deeper. "Here we are," Caleb pulled up to a cabin. It was small, modest, but even through the snow, Natasha could see the care, the ramps built for accessibility, the lights in the windows making it look warm and welcoming, the Christmas tree visible through the front window. "Home sweet home," Caleb said. "Let's get you both inside before we freeze." As they walked toward the door, Natasha carrying Owen, who was too tired to walk, she saw a face in the window, a little girl in a wheelchair waving excitedly. And Natasha thought, whatever happens next, we're safe. This stranger said, "Come with me," and we're safe. Sometimes, that's all Christmas needs to be.
Iris Reed was a force of nature. "Hi, I'm Iris. You must be the people Dad rescued. That's so cool. I always wanted to be rescued, but I'm always the one at home waiting. Are you okay? Was the blizzard scary? I bet it was scary. Do you want hot chocolate? I make the best hot chocolate. Dad says I put too many marshmallows, but that's impossible because there's no such thing as too many marshmallows." Iris, breathe, Caleb said gently. Let them get their coats off first. Iris grinned. She was 9 years old with dark hair and eyes that sparkled with intelligence and mischief. And she was in a wheelchair wearing a red sweater with a reindeer on it, completely unbothered by the fact that she couldn't walk. Owen was hiding behind Natasha, staring. Hi, I'm Iris. What's your name? Owen, he whispered. Cool name. Want to see my Christmas tree? I made all the ornaments myself. Well, Dad helped with the high ones, but I designed them. I like making things. Do you like making things? Owen nodded slowly. Great, come on, I'll show you. Iris wheeled herself toward the tree. Owen looked at Natasha, who nodded encouragingly, and followed. Caleb smiled. She's been excited about having visitors for Christmas. We don't get many people out here. She's wonderful, Natasha said, and meant it. There was something about Iris, a brightness that had nothing to do with the Christmas lights and everything to do with the spirit of a child who'd been through something terrible and chosen joy anyway. The cabin was small but immaculately kept. One main room with a kitchen, living area, and fireplace. A hallway leading to what Natasha assumed were bedrooms. Everything was accessible. Counters at wheelchair height, ramps instead of steps, grab bars installed strategically. I'll make dinner. Nothing fancy. Just pasta and garlic bread. Hope that's okay. That's perfect, Natasha said. Can I help? You're a guest. I'm a stranded stranger you're feeding and sheltering. The least I can do is help with dinner. Caleb smiled. Okay, you can make the salad if you want. They worked together in the small kitchen while the kids talked by the Christmas tree. Natasha found herself relaxing for the first time in hours, maybe in months. So, Caleb said as he stirred pasta, what brings you to the mountains on Christmas Eve besides the blizzard that stranded you? Owen asked, last week. He said, Mom, can we skip the big Christmas party this year? Can it just be us? And I realized I'd been dragging him to corporate events for 2 years since my divorce, using work and obligations to avoid dealing with everything. And he just wanted quiet. So I rented a cabin, planned a quiet Christmas, just us.
That's a good mom, Caleb observed. I'm trying to be. I haven't been. Not really. The divorce was ugly. My ex-husband left me for his secretary. Cliché, right? And the custody battle? She stopped. Sorry, you don't need to hear all this. I don't mind, said Caleb. Sometimes it helps to tell someone who doesn't know the whole story. Someone who can just listen. So Natasha told him about Derek, her ex-husband, about the betrayal, about fighting for custody of Owen while building a company, about being CEO of a pharmaceutical corporation worth billions while feeling like she was failing at the one thing that mattered, being present for her son. Owen's been quiet, she said, since the divorce. He used to laugh all the time. Now he just watches, like he's waiting for the next bad thing to happen. And I thought, maybe if it's just us, maybe he'll feel safe enough to laugh again. From the living room, as if on cue, Owen's laughter rang out. Real, genuine laughter. Natasha turned. Owen and Iris were playing some kind of game. Iris was demonstrating how she could spin her wheelchair in a perfect circle, and Owen was clapping. She's good for him, Natasha whispered. He's good for her too, Caleb replied. She doesn't get many visitors. Other kids, they don't know how to act around the wheelchair. They either pity her or ignore her. But Owen, he just sees Iris, not the chair. That's rare. During dinner, pasta and garlic bread and salad, simple but perfect, Natasha watched the kids interact. So how do you do things? Owen asked Iris. No pity in his voice, just curiosity. I figure it out. Like, I can't walk upstairs, but I can use ramps, and I can transfer from my chair to other seats if I want, and I'm really good at wheelchair basketball, better than kids with legs because I practice more. Does it make you sad, not being able to walk? Sometimes, Iris admitted, but Dad says brave isn't not being scared or sad. Brave is being scared and sad and doing stuff anyway. So I'm brave. Are you brave? Owen thought about this. My parents got divorced. That made me really sad. But Mom says we're going to be okay. So I guess I'm trying to be brave too. Then we're the Brave Kids Club, declared Iris. Official members, you and me.
Dad, can Owen and I make membership cards after dinner? Absolutely, said Caleb. After dinner, while the kids made Brave Kids Club cards from construction paper and markers, Natasha helped Caleb with dishes. Your daughter is remarkable, she said. She's everything, Caleb replied quietly. After the accident, after Michelle left, I was angry at the world, at God, at everything. But Iris, she just kept going, kept smiling, kept figuring things out, and I realized I could drown in anger or I could learn from my 9-year-old daughter. So I learned. She taught me that disability doesn't define you, that losing things doesn't mean you've lost everything, that brave is a choice you make every day. Natasha felt tears threatening. I think Owen needed to meet her, needed to see that you can lose things and still be okay. And I think Iris needed to meet Owen, needed to see that she's not strange or pitiful, just a kid, making friends with another kid. They stood there in the small kitchen doing dishes together while their children laughed in the next room. And Natasha thought this was what Christmas was supposed to be. Not corporate parties and expensive gifts, but this, connection, warmth, safety. A knock at the door interrupted the moment. Caleb frowned. That's weird. Nobody comes out here in weather like this. He opened the door to reveal a man in an expensive coat. Tall, maybe mid-40s, with the kind of smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. Hey, Caleb. Wanted to check in on you. Heard you picked up some stranded travelers. Thought I'd see if everyone's okay. We're fine, Derek, Caleb said. His voice was polite, but cool. This is Tasha and her son Owen. They're staying here tonight. Tasha, this is Derek Stratton. He owns the big place 2 miles west. Derek's eyes landed on Natasha, and something in his expression changed, sharpened. Natasha Carmody, CEO of Carmody Pharmaceuticals. I recognize you from Forbes. Natasha's guard went up immediately. That's me. Well, this is fortuitous, Derek said smoothly. You can't possibly stay in this. He gestured vaguely at the cabin. I have plenty of room at my place, full amenities, backup generators, much more comfortable. Let me take you and your son over there. You'll be much happier. I'm perfectly happy here, Natasha said coolly, but thank you for the offer. Derek's smile tightened. I insist. It's no trouble. She said she's fine here, Derek, Caleb interrupted. Thanks for checking, but we're good. Derek looked between them. His eyes lingered on Natasha. Well, the offer stands if you change your mind. He handed Natasha a business card. Call me, anytime. After he left, Caleb closed the door with more force than necessary. Sorry about that. He's persistent. Old friend? Asked Natasha. Something like that, Caleb said carefully. He's been trying to buy this property for 2 years. Says the land is valuable. I keep telling him no. It's gotten tense. Natasha filed that information away, looked at the business card in her hand, and felt her CEO instincts activate. Something about Derek Stratton didn't sit right. But for tonight, she was here, safe, with Caleb and Iris and Owen laughing in the next room. Tomorrow would come soon enough. Natasha woke on Christmas morning to the smell of coffee and the sound of children laughing. She'd slept in Caleb's room. He'd insisted, taking the couch himself. The bed had been comfortable, the room simple but clean. Photos on the walls of Iris at various ages, before the accident and after, always smiling. One photo caught her attention, Caleb in his Marine Corps uniform, younger but recognizable, standing with his unit, strong, proud, before whatever injury had given him that limp. She got dressed and went to the main room. Owen and Iris were already up, sitting by the Christmas tree. Caleb was in the kitchen making pancakes. "Merry Christmas," he said when he saw her. "Coffee's fresh." "Merry Christmas," Natasha replied. She poured herself a cup and watched the kids. "They're good together." "They are." Caleb flipped a pancake expertly. Iris woke up at 6,
couldn't wait to show Owen her presents. Most of them are homemade. I don't have a lot for store-bought things, but we make do. Homemade is better, Natasha said. It's real. They ate breakfast together, pancakes and bacon and fresh fruit. The kids opened presents. Iris had knitted Owen a scarf. Dad taught me how. Owen gave Iris a drawing he'd made the night before of the two of them as superheroes. "This is the best present ever," Iris declared. After breakfast, Caleb said, "I need to go see about your car. Storm's passed. I should be able to pull it out with my truck and some equipment." "I'll come with you," Natasha said. "You don't have to. I want to." So they went together, leaving the kids with strict instructions to stay inside and not open the door for anyone. The drive to Natasha's stranded SUV was quiet, beautiful. The world was white and pristine. The storm had passed, leaving everything clean. "Thank you," Natasha said, "for everything, for stopping, for taking us in, for giving Owen a Christmas he'll actually remember. A good one." "You're welcome," Caleb said simply. "But honestly, you gave us something too. Iris, she doesn't get many visitors. Other kids don't know how to act around her, but Owen he sees her, and that's a gift, to feel seen." They reached the SUV. Caleb hooked up chains, started the careful process of pulling it from the ditch. While he worked, Natasha's phone finally got signal. 17 missed calls, 32 texts, all from work, all urgent. Something about a merger, a decision needed. Natasha looked at the phone, looked at Caleb working, looked at the cabin in the distance where two kids were probably making more Brave Kids Club membership cards. And she turned the phone off. "Problem?" Caleb asked. "No, not anymore." The SUV came free. Caleb checked it over. "You're good to go. Car's fine. Just needed leverage." "Leverage," Natasha repeated. "That's what we all need sometimes, isn't it? Someone with the right tools to help us out of the ditch." Caleb smiled. That's a good way to put it."
They drove back to the cabin in separate vehicles. When they arrived, Derek's truck was parked outside. Natasha felt her instincts flare. "Did you invite him?" "No," Caleb said, tension in his voice. "I didn't." They went inside to find Derek sitting in the living room with the kids. He stood when they entered, all false warmth. "There you are. I came to check on everyone, make sure you survived the night in," he gestured vaguely, "rustic conditions." "We're fine," Natasha said coldly. "Well, now that your car's working, I'm happy to escort you to my place for Christmas dinner. I've had my chef prepare something spectacular, much better than," he looked at Caleb, "whatever budget meal Caleb was planning." Caleb's jaw tightened. But before he could speak, Iris did. "We don't need your chef," Iris said firmly. "Dad's making Christmas dinner, and Tasha and Owen are eating with us because they're our friends, and friends stay together on Christmas." Derek's smile was patronizing. "Sweetheart, I'm sure your dad does his best, but sometimes it's nice to have—" "I said no thank you," Iris interrupted. Her voice was polite but steel-edged. "We're happy here." Owen nodded emphatically. "I don't want to go to your house. I want to stay with Iris." Derek looked at Natasha. "Surely you'd prefer—" "I'm staying. Thank you for the invitation, but we're happy here." Something dark flickered in Derek's expression, but he smiled. "Of course. Well, Merry Christmas." He looked at Caleb. "We should talk, soon, about that offer I made, the land. Think about it." After he left, Caleb exhaled. "I'm sorry about that. He's been pushing harder lately, trying to buy this property. Says it's worth millions because of the location, but this is home. I can't sell it." "Why does he want it so badly?" Natasha asked. "Development. This area is becoming popular with wealthy people who want mountain retreats. Derek wants to buy up all the land around here, package it, resell it for huge profit. I'm the only holdout, and it frustrates him." Natasha's CEO mind was working. Has he done anything besides ask? He hesitated. "He's filed complaints with the county.
False ones, saying my property isn't up to code, trying to make it expensive for me to stay. But I fought them all, proved they were baseless. It's exhausting.
Natasha made a decision. Let me look into something. I have resources, lawyers, investigators. If Derek's harassing you, we can stop it. I don't want charity. It's not charity, Natasha interrupted. It's what friends do. And like Iris said, we're friends now. Caleb looked at her, really looked, and something passed between them, something that made Natasha's breath catch. Okay, he said quietly. Friends. They spent Christmas afternoon together. Caleb made dinner, roast chicken and vegetables and homemade rolls. The kids helped. Natasha found herself laughing more than she had in months. That night, after the kids were asleep, Caleb and Natasha sat by the fireplace. This was the best Christmas I've had in years, Natasha admitted. Owen laughed today, really laughed. I haven't heard that in so long. Iris did too, Caleb said. She needed this, needed to feel normal, like a regular kid having a regular Christmas with friends, not just the girl in the wheelchair. She's not just anything, Natasha said fiercely. She's extraordinary. She is, Caleb agreed. But sometimes I worry I'm not enough, that I can't give her what she needs. Michelle left because she couldn't handle the reality. And sometimes I think maybe she was right. Maybe Iris deserves more than I can provide. Stop, Natasha said. You're not listening. Iris is extraordinary because of you, because you built ramps instead of walls, because you taught her that brave is a choice, because you show up every single day and love her without condition. That's not enough. That's everything. Caleb's eyes were bright. Thank you for seeing that. Thank you for seeing me, Natasha replied. The real me, not the CEO, not the billion-dollar company, just a mom who needed help, and you gave it without hesitation. That's rare. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the fire. And Natasha thought, I don't want to leave tomorrow. I don't want this to end. But tomorrow would come anyway. The next morning, everything changed. Natasha woke to voices, raised voices. She rushed out of the bedroom to find Caleb standing in the main room with Derek, and Derek looked angry. Can't believe you'd be so irresponsible, Derek was saying. Letting strangers stay here. Do you know who she is? What kind of liability that creates? What are you doing here, Derek? Caleb's voice was cold. I came to check the generator. You mentioned it was acting up. Thought I'd help. But when I went to check it, Derek held up a cut fuel line. Someone sabotaged it. Cut the line. Your place could have lost power in that blizzard, with children here. That's dangerous. Criminal even. Natasha felt ice in her veins. When exactly did you check this? This morning, Derek said. I wanted to make sure Caleb's equipment was working, and I found this. You found it? Natasha repeated. Or you did it? Derek's face went still. Excuse me? You're trying to make life difficult for Caleb, Natasha said. You want this property. He won't sell, so you're sabotaging him, making it expensive, dangerous, trying to force his hand. That's insane. Is it? Natasha pulled out her phone. Because I made some calls yesterday to my lawyers, to investigators, and do you know what they found? A pattern. Complaints filed against Caleb's property, all from anonymous sources, but tracked back to your IP address. Pressure on local contractors not to work with him. Attempts to have his custody of Iris questioned. Derek's face went pale. You're bluffing. I'm not. Natasha showed him her screen. Email from her legal team. Documentation. Proof. You've been harassing him for months, and now you sabotaged his generator. I have evidence, and I will bury you in lawsuits unless you leave. Immediately. Permanently. You don't understand, Derek sputtered. This land is worth millions. He's wasting it. It's his, not yours. His home. His daughter's home. And you have no right to it. Leave. Now. And drop the campaign against him, or I will make it my personal mission to destroy you. Professionally, financially, legally. Are we clear? Derek looked between them. Saw he'd lost. Fine.
But you're making a mistake, Caleb. That land could set you up for life. I don't want to be set up, Caleb said quietly. I want to be home. There's a difference. Now get out. The door slammed behind him. Caleb turned to Natasha. You didn't have to do that. The lawyers, the investigation. Yes, I did. Because what he was doing, that's not okay. And you deserve to live in peace. You and Iris, without someone trying to force you out. But your resources are mine to use how I want, and I want to use them to protect people who matter. You matter, Caleb. You and Iris, you matter.
Something in Caleb's expression shifted, softened. Thank you. I don't know how to repay. You don't have to repay anything, Natasha said. That's not how this works. That's not how friendship works. But even as she said friendship, she knew it was more than that. Had known since Christmas Eve, when he'd said, "Come with me," and she'd trusted him completely. Later that afternoon, when the kids were playing outside in the snow under supervision, Natasha heard voices from the porch. Caleb was talking to someone, a man's voice she didn't recognize. She wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but she heard anyway. "So this is the famous Tasha," the other man said. "The billionaire who's been staying with you." "Marcus, don't what? I'm just saying. You've been smiling more in 2 days than I've seen in 3 years, since Michelle left. It's not like that, isn't it?" Marcus's voice was gentle. "Come on, Caleb. I've known you since you got back from deployment, and I've never seen you look at someone the way you look at her." Silence. Then Caleb's voice, quiet. "Okay, yeah, I have feelings for her. But it's crazy. I just met her 2 days ago, and she's a billionaire CEO. What do I have to offer her? A cabin and a daughter in a wheelchair and a limp from shrapnel. Why would she—" "Because you're you," Marcus interrupted. "Because you stopped in a blizzard and said, 'Come with me,' to a stranger. Because you built ramps for your daughter instead of giving up. Because you choose people over profit every single time. That's what you offer. And maybe that's exactly what she needs." "She's leaving tomorrow," Caleb said. "Back to her life, her company. Why would she come back?" "Why don't you ask her?" "Because I'm terrified of the answer." Natasha backed away from the window. Her heart was pounding. Caleb had feelings for her, and she felt the same, had felt it since that first moment in the blizzard when he'd offered safety without conditions. But what did that mean? She had a company to run, a son to raise, a life in the city. And Caleb had Iris, had this cabin, had a life he'd built with purpose and meaning. Could those two worlds fit together? She didn't know, but she knew one thing. She had to try. The next morning, Natasha found Caleb alone in the kitchen before the kids woke up. "I heard you," she said without preamble, "yesterday, talking to Marcus about having feelings for me." Caleb went very still. "You heard that?" "I did." Natasha took a breath. "And I need you to know. I feel it too." Caleb turned. "You do?" "I do. This blizzard, this Christmas, meeting you and Iris, it wasn't chance. It was—" she struggled for words. "It was what I needed, what Owen needed. Not another corporate event, not another year of going through motions, but real connection, real people. You." "I'm just a guy who stopped on a road." "No," Natasha interrupted. "You're the guy who said, 'Come with me,' who opened your home, who built ramps for your daughter, who chose legacy over wealth, who shows up every single day and does the hard work of being present. That's everything. And I don't want to walk away from it. From you." "I don't know how this works," Caleb admitted. "You live in the city. You run a billion-dollar company. I live in a cabin in the mountains. I'm a veteran with a disability and a daughter who needs specialized care. How do those worlds fit?" "I don't know," Natasha said honestly, "but I want to find out, because what you have here
It's real, and I've built something big and successful and empty. And I think maybe we can help each other, build something that's both big and real." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying," Natasha took another breath, "I run a pharmaceutical company. We fund medical research, accessibility initiatives. What if we partnered, not just romantically, but professionally? You consult on accessibility. Iris becomes part of our youth ambassador program. We fund improvements to this cabin, medical equipment, therapy resources. You keep your home, your life, but we're part of it, me and Owen, and you're part of ours." Caleb was quiet for a long moment. "That sounds like charity." "It's not. It's investment in people who understand what actually matters, in fathers who show up, in children who deserve the world. You said you can't give Iris everything. Let me help. Not because you need saving, but because this," she gestured around the cabin, "this is worth more than anything I've built alone." "Partnership," Caleb said slowly. "Professional and personal. If you want it, if you're willing to try." "I want it. God, I want it. But I need to be honest. I'm terrified of screwing this up, of not being enough, of you realizing you made a mistake and leaving like Michelle did." "I'm not Michelle," Natasha said firmly. "I don't run from hard things. I run toward them. And yes, this is complicated. Yes, it's scary, but I'd rather be scared with you than safe and empty without you." Caleb closed the distance between them, took her hands. "Okay, partnership. Let's try." They stood there, hands clasped, building something new from Christmas magic and blizzard providence. From the hallway, a small voice. "I knew it! Dad and Tasha are holding hands. They like each other." Both adults turned to find Iris in her wheelchair grinning, Owen beside her, smiling shyly. "We've been waiting for you to figure it out. We knew on Christmas Eve. Adults are so slow." Despite everything, Natasha laughed. "You're right, we are slow, but we got there eventually." "Are you staying? Can we come back?" "We're coming back. A lot. If that's okay with Caleb and Iris." "It's very okay. Iris is my best friend now. He has to visit all the time. That's Brave Kids Club rules." "Well then," Caleb grinned, "looks like we're stuck together." "Looks like," Natasha agreed.
The cabin had been transformed. New medical equipment for Iris's therapy. An addition carefully designed to match the original structure, giving everyone more space. A workshop where Caleb was building a consulting business, helping companies design accessible spaces. Natasha and Owen came every other weekend, sometimes more. The kids were inseparable. The adults, well, they were taking things slow, building something sustainable, but the feelings were undeniable. One Saturday evening, after the kids were asleep, Natasha and Caleb sat on the porch. "I have something to tell you," Natasha said. "The board approved it yesterday. We're launching a new division, accessibility consulting and medical research, and I want you to lead it, full-time. Salary, benefits, resources. You'd be designing the programs you've been consulting on, making real change." Caleb was quiet. That's a big job. You're ready for it, and more importantly, you understand it. You've lived it with Iris. That's invaluable. I don't have a degree in medical anything. You have something better. Experience, perspective, heart. That's what we need. What about Iris? I can't move to the city. You don't have to. Work remote. Come to the office once a month. We'll make it work, because this matters. You matter. And the work you could do, it could change lives. Caleb looked at her. "You're sure?" "I'm sure." "Okay. Then yes, I'll do it." They sat in comfortable silence, watching the stars. "Caleb," Natasha said eventually, "can I ask you something?" "Always." "That first night, when you stopped in the blizzard, why did you? You didn't know me. I could have been dangerous, but you stopped. Why?" Caleb thought about this. "Because I've been stranded. Different kind of stranded, but stranded. After my injury,
After Michelle left, after realizing I had to rebuild my entire life around being Iris's dad. And during all of that, people helped. Strangers helped. Physical therapists who went the extra mile, neighbors who brought meals, VA counselors who believed in me. And I learned, when you've been saved, you save others. It's that simple. So when I saw you in that road, I didn't think. I just stopped, said, "Come with me," because someone once said that to me. Natasha felt tears on her face. "I'm glad you stopped." "Me too," Caleb said quietly. "Me too." Inside, through the window, they could see Iris and Owen playing a video game, laughing. Iris asked me something yesterday. She asked if you were going to be her new mom, and I didn't know what to say. "What did you want to say?" Natasha asked. "I wanted to say yes, someday, if you wanted that, if we got there. I want that. Not right now, not rushed, but someday. I want us to be a family, all four of us, if that's what you want too. That's what I want, more than anything." He took her hand, and they sat there on the porch of a cabin in the mountains, watching their children play, building a future from a blizzard and a choice, and the simple words, "Come with me." Because sometimes Christmas miracles look like strangers in storms, like wheelchairs and 7-year-olds, and saying yes to help when help is offered, like showing up again and again, until showing up becomes home, and home becomes family, and family becomes everything.
If this story touched your soul, you've experienced the power of Becca's stories. Subscribe for powerful daily narratives about the strangers who stop in blizzards, the veterans who build ramps instead of walls, the CEOs who choose people over profit, and the Christmas miracles that happen when someone says, "Come with me," and you're brave enough to trust. Comment below. Have you ever been saved by a stranger? What would you do if you saw someone stranded? Our mission is to inspire your life and brighten your day through powerful narratives of transformation and human resilience.